Good morning. Welcome. This is another great opportunity, another great time to get together as you're jumping in or you're listening on playback. This is a great day to be here with you. I'm enjoying this sunrise that we have here in Florida. And, it just really kicks up your day. And I think that underlies what we're going to talk about today, and that's about your superpower. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the superpower. Get your cape on. Get ready. Good morning, Lisa. As you jump in and say hi, leave a comment. We're going to talk a little bit about this book here, The Influence Effect. Now, it just launched yesterday, and I had a preview, so I was reading it over the weekend, and it struck me there's 5 superpowers that they mention in this. And while the book is reflecting for women leaders, I think all of us can take away. This thing says for women leaders, right? So I think it relates to all of us, and whether you say, well, that doesn't mean to me because I'm a man and I do things differently. That's true. You do get together differently in work, but there's certain things that you can do, whether you're man, woman, there's a certain approach that you should look at. And this superpower is called informal power. Informal power, yeah. So informal power is really twofold. It talks about the casual interaction as well as social networking. And I think about this as, oh no, not social networking, not networking. That's just a bad term. Well, it's been, done wrong. We go and pass business cards around everybody, and then we say, oh, I got 50 cards distributed. It was great. And then you never hear from any of them again. Or you follow up, do your due diligence and follow up and send your card, and then you don't still hear from people. Or you might hear from somebody, or you might get put on a list, and that's the extent of it. I remember going to a a networking event. Somebody just said, here's my card. Do you have any questions? And it's like, well, who are you? Are you this person on this card? But what the authors here, Heath and Flynn and Holt and Faison, are talking about is the informal power that you have in the workplace. And again, if you approach it from, go for the win-win, you're doing this already. If you're approaching it from a collaboration point, you maybe have to build up this skill a little bit or tap into it. And formal power talks about this opportunity to go around the network, go around the office and find out, well, who do I need to talk to vet this particular idea I have? Or who do I need to know? You may be just coming into the place, so you need to know people. You need to casually chat with them, get to know them, build a bridge. And I think that's really what it is. It's really about building this bridge, building a connection. It may be common ground, sure, but it's more about who is this person? What do they think? How do they think? How are they going to help me? Or maybe, how do I approach them? How do they think so that I know what information they need or what things I need to talk with? So they may be my biggest obstacle when I deliver this idea to the team around the table. And I want to know them, and I want to be able to talk with them, and I want to build this bridge. I may never develop a true friendship with them, but I'm going to need them to be in my corner. I'm going to need them to understand me, understand what I'm going to bring. So informal power really has, the authors have 5 things that you can do with informal power, 5 strategies. And I thought I'd mention this today. The other 4 superpowers that we're going to talk about are relationship maps, scenario thinking, influence loops, and momentum. All those will come out in future days. But today I just want to focus in on informal power. And informal, I'll get to my notes here. Oh, maximize time, yes. How much time is meaningless in your day? How much time do you just spend clicking on the phone, doing on the phone thing, going and doing something else, walking to the water cooler and back, kitchen, whatever, just chatting. And is the time effective? So maximize the time is an important aspect of this, because you could use this time to say, hey, I haven't talked to Jane. Jane is an interesting person from what I hear, but I haven't talked with her, and maybe I need to talk with her because she holds the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. So make it work for you. Make the time work for you. Set small goals. Like, I'm just going to go and say hi, and see where the conversation goes for a little bit. Just spend a minute or two with her just to say hi, introduce myself, build a conversation thread that will continue. Maybe one of her interests, and so you're going to speak into that. Maybe it's an interest of yours. Take a walk. Maybe it's this opportunity to go and, hey, want to take a walk? I got something to chat with you about. So use the time effectively. Maximize that time that's meaningless and make it meaningful. Meet before the meeting. So don't make another meeting just to have a meeting, but often in the workplace, you're chatting with people, with interest holders, stakeholders in this particular project, and you're going to want to get the idea vetted. You talk further, maybe brainstorm, maybe there's some other aspects that you want to just pull out and say, hey, what do you think about this idea or this aspect of it? And then go into the meeting knowing all the stakeholders around you and what they're thinking, so that they're already aware of your idea and you already know what they may be object about, or they may be thinking into. They may be saying, did you think about this? And you can say, yes, I thought about this because I talked with so-and-so, with this other stakeholder, and this is their aspect, their perspective, and I agree with that, and I've looked at it all. So that gets you further along the way, gets you set up for success in the true meeting, the true presentation. Number 3 is understand informal norms. So how are things done, or where do people meet? So again, you're using a casual time to connect and get to know people around the office. Is it in the morning? Maybe they all head to the Starbucks or to a coffee place, or get together for breakfast. Maybe that's a good opportunity to just get to know them. Maybe it's after work. Maybe it's at lunchtime. They all go to the same place on a rotation. I know for my workplace that we used to have certain days that we would go to certain places, and it'd be Italian one day or pizza the next or subs the next, and it was an opportunity to talk and walk and get to know each other and reinforce the relationships. Do it your way. So what works for you in that approach? Make sure that what you're doing with your informal power is not prescriptive. Don't go following a book and saying, oh, it says this is the way to do it. No, you don't want to follow the book, but you want to follow what works for you, how you best connect socially, how best you can create the relationship, right? And then talk the talk. Just don't say, well, I'm going to get together with people, and don't do it. You got to do it. You got to take that action step. So that's number 5. So these are the 5 strategies. Again, maximize your time, meet before the meeting, figure out what the informal norms are, go and make it work for you. Make sure whatever agenda you might have, whatever need you might have, you get it done, and then take that action. Schedule it, go attend, and have an opportunity to use this informal power for the great things that you got in front of you. So today, those are the 5 strategies on how to use informal power, your superpower. You can do this in your workplace. You can do it with your family. You can do it wherever you go. But sometimes we just forget and leave that we don't use it at the workplace. We know how to do it well elsewhere in our personal lives, but we don't do it at the workplace. We're shy, or, well, I'll get to it because I got this load of list of items to do. So take the time today to figure out what are you going to do intentionally today to this aspect, to this power that you have. And you'll go further and higher and faster than the other people that are sitting around still figuring out, well, maybe I should do this, or they're not even thinking about it because they're so buried in their book, they don't know what's going on. They're so focused on the process that they forget they need to get up from their desk, just like you, and walk over to talk to somebody. Be well today. Use this informal power. We're going to talk more about the other 4 strategies during this week, and you'll be set up for the success that you need. Take these to heart, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, because they will all be effective for you this day. Be well. Talk soon.